Dave here. How are you? I can see the show is streaming fine. I've got another monitor set up on the other side here so I can be a little bit independent. But the quirky thing is, I'll move my hand around here and then it'll come up there in about another 15 seconds. So that's the kind of delay we're getting. I trust everyone's well. The temperature today is pretty cold. You might see I have actually got 3 shirts on. All blue, but it's bloody cold. This week on the show, I forgot to say, Dave here, how are you? There we go, getting it all sorted. This week on the show, I'm going to give you a little bit of an astronomical thing to start with. Today's daylight will be 4.9 minutes longer for us where I am on this latitude south than it was last Sunday. And the sun's angle above the horizon is higher at noon from 33.4 degrees last week to 34.2 degrees. Now that may not seem like anything you're really interested in, but it is very fascinating for people that have got solar panels on their roofs because the sun's getting up a little bit higher, so it's getting past trees and all that kind of stuff and giving them a little bit more electricity, enough so I can run that other monitor. Okay, so today we are going to remove this from the mold, and why not get into it, and also place it on the CNC and surface it, and a bit of CAD and CAM and action, fingers crossed. Hope it all works. All right, having a quick read down the side here, all good socials. Well, Peter, I did the socials, but then I actually deleted the things, so there we go. If you're watching, that's great. I see there's 40 watching now, which is fantastic. Jumped 111 degrees there. Andrew, David, morning. Nath, how are you? Skip, good evening from Florida. Ian, thanks for telling me the AV is all good. And Derek, hi everyone. Okay, so this bad boy here is my surfacing tool that we're going in the CNC. And you might see over the back here, I have another camera set up, and it's looking onto the CNC. Hopefully I've got everything prepared. Right, now I'll give you a little bit of history from last week to this week to do this pour. I did put some posts on Facebook, but I will show you again. This is actually, no one's seen this one, so let's have a look at this. So isn't that nice? It's such a nice feeling when you're pouring the resin out and it just starts flowing. The thing is, you really do need to check for leaks and all that kind of stuff. I was very fortunate. I did have a big tarpaulin down on the bench before I did the pours. Now that pour was the second day. So we did the pour on the Sunday on the show, and then the next day in the morning, I came down and did second pours. And before I did the second pour, that part you just saw there, I did this. Have a look. Get down on the ground here. Dave here, how are you? I just wanted to quickly show you something about this resin. Now, whilst it feels rock hard, you'll remember that I did the first pour on Sunday around about 11 o'clock. It was about 6 or 7 millimeters thick for this whole table. This is out of the bottom of the container from that particular pour. So reasonably rigid. They say 7 days. I reckon 6 will be okay, but 7 days. This is a couple of days old. The next day I did the next pour, so it was about 24 hours later, and took it all the way up to the top. So this is ready to put on the CNC on the weekend. And this is out of the bottom of that particular pour, that container. So very flexible still, not tacky or anything, but flexy. So there's a little tip. Even though it feels rock hard, give it its time to cure. See you later. So that was pretty interesting. This is the first pour and it's rock solid. And I went to flex the second one and it snapped. It's that hard. So I think it's ready for the CNC, or at least it's ready to take out of the mold. Sometimes if you take it out too early, it will feel hard, but as you take the mould off, sometimes it'll start to bend as you're taking the mould off, and that's not good. All right, get a screwdriver drill out. We'll undo these screws. So from the end first. So these screws, these are just Craig pocket hole screws. I will hold on to those. They can be reused. Not a problem at all. I won't put them down on there because I'll lose them. Put them on the track over there. I'll take the screws out of the other end. So I trust everyone's had a good week. We're still in lockdown. They've shut the store down at Auburn. So I don't know how many Mondays I'm going to be having off now, because I only work there one day a week. Right. Now, what I did yesterday as well, I put a post on, is this resin here. Let me see if I can find another spot. Just here. Okay. See this bit here? That used to be like that as well. And I got onto it with the little low angle block. This is an Axminster Rider 69.5 low angle block. Very, very nice plane. But I'm not going to do the whole thing with that because it would take me a month of Sundays. And we don't have that kind of time. But that's the shavings. So it's resin and camphor. And when I was planing, the smell in here was fantastic as those shavings were coming off. If you haven't experienced camphor laurel, I suggest you do. I'm going to flip her over. There's a fair weight in this thing. Hopefully I'm going to flip her over. And hopefully it doesn't drop while I do it. Let me see, get around here a bit further. The reason I'm flipping it over is because I need to undo all the screws in the back. Thank heavens it didn't just pop out. Once I've undone all the screws, then I can take the sides off and then relieve it of the mould. I can read down the side here. Look at this. Morning, Mark. Morning, Michael. Michael House, Michael Jude. Bob Clark, hello. How are you? How cool is that? Now, I don't have the chat coming up on the side of the screen anymore. Someone made comment about it and said they didn't like it, and I kind of made excuses for it. And excuses weren't, bad excuses. They were good excuses, or reasons, should I say, for people watching on the TV. So if you were watching on a TV, you'd be able to see the chat, because you wouldn't normally see the chat unless I actually captured it on the screen. So those people, whilst they're watching on TV, they normally had a phone or a laptop or something like that set up as well, so they could make comment. And then last week something happened, and we couldn't see the chat on the side, and I thought, you know what, let's leave it off. Because now I've got a full screen, and you can see everything that's happening. What do you think? Put some comments there if you want to. I can put the chat back if I get a heap of people say they want the chat embedded in it, but I don't know. You can turn the chat on or off. Some people just don't like the chat because they say it's too busy. They don't really care what other people think. It's all about them. Now the reason it didn't drop off, I'm pretty sure, is because we used that caulking compound on the pieces of camphor. What's that? Wayne, you like it without? Okay. Full screen's much better. Well, we'll stick with it. We'll stick with it. I'm going to flip her over. Oh, I can hear it moving around. This is so good. Okay. Now let's take this back section off. How good was that? I like it. I like it. That clear contact worked brilliantly. If you can see what I can see, you'll see soon. The end is off. I hope it comes off the base as easily. And the back. Cool. All right, let's take it off. Off there as well. Chisel and a hammer. All right. Quick read. Harry the Spencer's. I like without. G'day, Dave from New Jersey. G'day, Bob. How are you? All right. Oh, it's separating so well. Now I'm using 2 chisels. I'm not going to drive one in and reef it. I'm going to just slowly work my way around and see how we go. Pulling the contact, pulling the clear contact up off the board. Which is fine. Fine in my book. I'm going to leave 1 chisel in there and come around this side. Oh, this is exciting. I knew it would be. How about we go to Carl Camp? You can see a little bit more from up there. How's that look? Okay. I'm one of those who watch on TV and laptop. What I used to find was the chat on the TV was always about 15 seconds without it on the TV. Okay. Everyone's liking the full screen. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Probably the only person that won't like it will be my wife, and so you know what's going to happen there. If she says she wants it full screen, well, I'm going to go with that. I'm not an idiot. Beautiful. Another chisel. I'm loving it. Now see that real glossy surface? It's going to, hello, there's a comment from my girl. Yes. That glossy surface is not going to stay there after, once it's been over the CNC, that will all disappear. It won't be glossy anymore. Hear that? That's the tape coming off. Take the chisels out now. Got it. Got it. Beautiful. Take that one out of there. Move these 2 over here. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that. So nice. So this is the caulking compound. You can see this is the different colours. And it's so lucky that I put that there, because otherwise the resin would have just kept on running underneath. It's leaked over here. Don't know if you can see that. You can see where it's leaked here and come in underneath. And that would have just been a huge waste. But these areas have sealed well. And remember, I put that little bit around there, and that stopped it all bleeding in and just going everywhere, because it would have done it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the CNC like this and put it on there. So I think I need to switch cameras for you guys. Well, first of all, we'll just come to here. What do you think of that? It's going to be so nice. Both sides will be surfaced. This side will be surfaced second. I'm going to do the other one first. Okay, so I've got the other camera there. Here we go. So I'm going to take this out to it. Making sure I don't trip over anything. I've already set things up out here so that I didn't waste a whole heap of time. Move that back. It's dropping in quite nicely. There, I'm back to there. Right. So this part here is the highest piece. See, these are all different thicknesses, so I need to surface this one first, because I don't want to start the machine up, because I'm only going to be taking 2 millimeters off in every pass. So if I set it up to do the whole thing, 2 millimeters from there, here we go, over here, do nothing, and then nothing, nothing. So I'm going to create a rectangle for this area here. I'll be referencing off this corner, and I'm going to set it up to take 2 millimeters per pass off here. Then we'll set up another rectangle, which is the full size, plus a bit, and we'll work it to do the whole surface. Now I've got the clamps here, locking in position. And I've got another one and another one. So I'm going to push this one up from the back. That's going to hold that nicely. That's going to be nice. And I've got a cam clamp up here just to hold the end by a piece of wood. Lovely. All right. Not going anywhere. Back over to Aspire. Where are we? Here. Now, as I said, this piece of melamine, I'm going to use it in a project. It's not getting thrown away at all. Look, there's the clear contact coming off. And it's not affected by anything. Let's have a quick look at that, whether that'll pop. Yep. This is the resin that leaked through just a little bit. You'd hardly notice it, would you? I'll put this over to the side. Now I could use that for another mould if I wanted to. or I can just put it over there. I'll need the keyboard for this next part. All right, I'm going to load a spire, and we'll go to this camera down here. Hopefully this is going to work. Aspire. Hold on, before I do that, let's minimize that. Do this one. And do Aspire up there. Now I'll be able to see in a second whether it comes up. Didn't come up that time, but it's, that was the delay. Could you surface the top before removing the melamine from the base? I guess I could. I guess I could. So let's see what happens. I really did want this part to come up, but I don't think it's going to. Let me have a look. It worked earlier. No, not going to do it. All right. What I'll do then is I can get around it. I'll just do it quickly in the other thing. I'll come here to this one. I'll open up Aspire and I'll move it onto the other screen so I can see what's happening. There. Sorry about that. When I did a test on it earlier, it worked, but see how we go. I won't be able to read any comments while I'm doing this. I'm basically just going to create a new file in Vectric, and the unit size, I'm making it 1600 by 900 wide. The reason being I want the sheet to be bigger than the job is. And then I'm going to create a rectangle to do that size, and I've got a tape over there, I think. Yes. I'm just going to measure how big this is. Let's say 300 by 300. Okay, so I'm going to do 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters for the rectangle. A rectangle of 300 by 300. I've just got to measure across from the edge how far it is. So I'll go to camera 3. The reason I'm a little bit slower on selecting cameras today is because I've got two screens there running. So I need to measure from here to the edge. Close enough, let's say 190. And overall that'll be 590, that'll be fine. What did I say? 190. Perfect. This will be a bit of fun. 190, come back to here. 190 from there to there. So, whoop, no. I was on the wrong thing then. Delete that. Okay, 190. Yeah, I can do it that way. Oh, that's clever. 300 by... Good enough. Yep, I think that's going to work. Okay. All right, now I'm going to just quickly make a toolpath. This would have been so much more interesting for you guys if you could see what I was doing. But anyway, the toolpath, we're going to go create a pocket. We're going to go 2 millimeter depth in pass. I'm using the 3-wing spoil board cutter, and we're going to go in a climb direction, and we'll calculate that, and that looks good. And I'm going to close that, and we will save that toolpath to my USB stick. Have it CNC, millimeters, save toolpath to this PC and that USB drive, and we'll call it Pocket 1. Done. Okay, all of that information is now on here. How amazing is that? I will go over to the other camera. I'll minimize this one so we can see what's happening there. Scissor lift will save your back. Nice blue. Hi all, and g'day Groovejet. And yes, all right. I've got the chat happening again here so I can see what's going on. All right, go to the other camera. There he is. How much resin did you use? I used about, I think it was about 10 litres all up, I think. Okay, so this is the cutter that I'm going to use, and this is the USB stick into the laptop that runs everything. I'm going to bring the machine back up to me. I can speed it up by pushing the shift button. And then over here. Beautiful. Now this here is what's called an ER20 collet in a, well, it's just basically, it's a clamping nut. But this has got a 1/2 inch, this takes a 1/2 inch tool. So down here, so you can see what's going on. There you go. Now it also has a K-line on there. So we will put this in the machine. The spindle has its own control box, and it's turned off at the moment. I never touch this with the control box turned on for the spindle. The control box for the machine to move around, the robotics of that part, that's on, but this part not, because you would not like it to start up while you're putting the cutter in. That'd be terrible. I take these specs off and put the other ones on. These ones are a little bit better as far as this part's concerned. K-line, where are you? There it is. And the spanners, 20 mil on the top. Haven't I come a long way since I first got this machine? You know, it was a real worry for me. It was really scary when I first got it. And then now that I've said that, it's probably going to stuff up on me. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it over to this corner. I'm going to set up 0 here, X and Y. Push it down. And then the last thing I'm going to do the Z axis. Just making sure it's right over the center of that corner. A little bit more. It's pretty close. Yeah, so now I'm going to set the X and the Y axis at 0. We'll close this. It's just said hello. Oh, you put a USB stick in there. We are on millimeters, so X 0, Y 0. That's the corner of the job. Next thing we're going to do is load the code from the USB stick. And there it is, Pocket 1, we called it. Open it. It's low now. I've got to change it from inches to metric so it knows where it's at. And you can't see it from there, but there's a little picture of where the corner of this is right now and where it's going to be going over to do this work over here. So now I'm going to travel it over there, and I'm going to lower it down until it's actually touching that surface. It's very close. Take it down just a touch. That's just missing. Just missing it. Now I'm going to tell it that Z is 0 now. Cool. Now I can raise it up, page up, and bring it back over here. Put the shroud on. I'm not going to leave this off because this is going to throw shavings absolutely everywhere. Now I need to turn the spindle on. And I'm going to read my instructions up the front. Turn the control box on, Mach 4 enabled, X, Y and Z done. Load the code, which I've done, set Mach 4 to millimetres, which I've done. Fit the correct cutter in, it's done. Touch off the Z is done. Check the job is secured and no obstructions. All done. Fit the dust boot, turn on the dust extractor and the VFD. Okay, so the dusty's got to be turned on. You can hear it pulling the air through here. Now, the next part is put the headphones on, eye muffs and eye protection. And I'm going to have a look at it all and still do a quick look through it. We're in metric. Everything is looking pretty good there as far as height above is concerned. That's all good. Next thing to do is cycle start and go over here near this. This is the emergency stop. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's my first pass. And that looks lovely. I'm going to pick the speed up a little bit. That kind of... Actually, let's have a look at that. No, it was running at 18,000. I'm going to give it another pass. We'll page up. I think it'll be okay. I'm going to take it over and set it up to 0 again. And tell it, whoop, page up. That's fine. It's saying it's 1.4. Above. Page down. -4, that's no good. Page up. Page up. That's better. $1.6. I'm going to set that to 0. Page up. And we're going to cycle start it again where it is. Okay, fingers crossed. What the machine should do now, it'll probably come back to this corner and then go back over and start cutting again. Beautiful. Okay, I think I need to set it up now to do pass over the whole job. So I'm going to take this out, turn the dusty off, take this out and come back over to the other camera. Okay, here we are. All right, quick read. All right, now I'm going to go into Aspire again, plug that back into the computer. You like it? How good does it look out there? It's just going to be magic. And Aspire, where are we? There. This time I'm going to remove the that toolpath that I just had, so we'll delete that. And we'll delete that vector. Now, 760 wide by, I've got to measure the length. Let's make it 1480 by 680. 1480 by 680. Well, it's lucky, wasn't it? Yep. Okay. Rectangle. Done. Close. Go over to the other side. While I'm there, close that one. Pocket. And that's all good. 2mm pass. I'm thinking I'm going to take it down to 1.5mm per pass. I'm a little bit cautious. This is the first time I've run that over resin, and I want to make sure that I don't take off too much in one pass. It worked fine on the timber. It's only when it does this, what's called a dog bone, it goes around the corner and it cuts a whole lot more timber than just if it's going through one pass. So I'm going to be conscious of that. Calculate, and let's have a quick look at that, preview it, done. All right, that might work. Close that one. Time for this one, it says it's going to take 11 minutes and 33 seconds to do it. I don't think it will. I think it's going to be closer to 6 minutes. We'll close that and we'll save it. Save toolpath, and we'll call this Pocket 2. Surface. Full job. Okay. I need to be aware of where that is now. I just have to, I'm doing a quick think. Yeah, I've made a little mistake. So we're going to cancel that. Go to there. And we're going to be working that right on that corner. Okay. Now the mistake that I made was I've set it up, you know how before I moved it over so that it would just work on that one part in the middle of the job, like across the bottom. This time I want it to surface the whole thing. I created a rectangle inside the area, and if I had touched off on the corner, like if I set my X and Y axis right on the corner to 0, it would have gone inside and then started cutting the way that I've set it up. So I'm going to move that rectangle across so it's right on the corner. That's better. You know, ordinarily, if it wasn't for the fact that the show was live, I would have probably spent another 10 minutes just slowly considering everything, but because it is live and I'm very conscious of everyone just standing there and watching or sitting there watching, thinking, come on, Dave, you've got to do it. Well, we'll see how it goes. Give me a sec. So that one's done. We will delete that one there. And we will create pocket on that. Everything else is the same. 1.5 millimeter pass. Calculate. Reset the previews. And there it is. Beautiful. Close. Save the toolpath. Avid CNC millimeters. Save to the USB stick. Pocket 2. I said I was going to do it. Pocket 1, pocket 2. Full job. That'll do. And we will save. And there it is, done. I'll minimize this and have a quick read. David, I'm going to answer that question now. What's happening is this is a pocket. So the rectangle that I've created in the software, this machine, I've told the software what diameter this tool is. So this is basically, it's a 2-inch, so it's basically 50 millimeters, very close to it. It will go on the inside of that rectangle. It's not going to go outside it. So I've made the rectangle a little bit bigger by around about 10 to 15 millimeters. And hopefully I've done the right thing. We'll find out in a second. Camera 3. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, back over here. Put this code in. I'm going to page up to raise this off so I can have a look at where the cutter is. So it's back in the corner again. It knows where it is. So we'll close that because I don't want it just opening up. Page down. Okay, that's great. Page up a little, and then across back over to here, because this is my highest point, I think. So I have to set the Z, page down, to there, page down, minus 3.6, page up just a touch. Minus 2.5. Yeah, just a touch more. That's good. I'm going to set that to 0 there. And then page up. And put this on again. Now, I'm going to close the G code that's in there, and I'm going to load the new G code, which is pocket job, pocket 2 full job, open. And again, I've got to switch the units back over to metric, which I've done. And here the picture is showing me plenty good what's going to be happening. I'm going to read through my instructions again. I always do. Control boxes on. Both of those guys are turned on. Correct cutters in. Diameter, yeah, all good. Check the job for secure. Yes, it is still. Not going anywhere. All of those are still tight. Dust extractor on. Now I do have the capacity with Mac 4 to be able to slow the speed of the travel down if I need to. If I feel the machine is starting to labour a little bit, because this size cutter, I'll slow its speed down. I won't slow the speed of the cutter itself, I'll slow the speed the machine is moving around the job. Okay, metric, VFD, everything is on, eye muffs, never be too careful. And cycle start. over here beside this, just in case. We'll go to the middle. This is great. So whilst it's not cutting anything at the moment, it's going to be going in this pattern from the centre out. And it's just touched it there a little bit. So when it gets down, oh, this is beautiful. I'm loving it. So I took a little bit off here, and it's taken a little bit off there. Oh, this is great. It'll take more off here this time. You hear it? Ha ha! Oh, magic! It is such a clean cut. It's working on that part back there already, only a tiny bit. Hasn't touched the resin yet. Still high above it. It's not taking too long. This is better than the 11 minutes it was telling me. One of the great things about a large surface cutter is that it travels so much in one space. So it's got what's called a step over happening here. I'll come back over here a bit. There's a step over, which means it's got an 80% step over. It's like when you're mowing a lawn. That's got a bit of resin, I think. Oh no, still not. So when you're mowing a lawn, you mow along, do your first cut, and then you want to go around the circle and come back again, and you step over enough, but you normally leave the inside wheel on the stuff you've already cut. Otherwise you'll end up with a fringe, and that's annoying. So that's what this is doing. It's stepping over 80%, but still the cutter is still working over 20% of what it's already cut, so that there's no little bits and pieces there. So it's 40 millimeters per pass that it's taking out instead of 50 on the first pass. So it's not working as hard. This is going to be such a beautiful table. I'm very excited about when it starts going into the resin. I'm going to have to do this twice. If I run over, I'm going to keep going until I've got this surfaced, one side. And you're more than welcome to hang around. Okay, that pass took some resin. Only just. This is going to be beautiful. This might be the final pass. Or it might go one more. I've got a bit of resin here, let's see what happens. No, missed it. Yeah, I think it's got one more pass to go. Nope. This is the final, it's through in the middle. I don't know why. It's probably going to come over here now. There we go. Now, why the hell it didn't do that in the first pass, I don't know. Page up. Oh, so nice. All right, back over here, and we're going to page down. Minus 1.9, that'll be good. So we'll zero that. Page up. Get it started again. Turn on the dusty. These back on. I'm going to bring that camera over a little bit closer soon so you can see what's happening. Cycle start. I'll bring the camera over now. Taking close to 3 millimeters. It's gone through the resin there, see it? Magic. Resin. That's great. One of the things I'm really happy about is watching the resin come off. It's not coming off as a dust. It's actually cutting it really well, and it's taking it up through the dusting really well. Might do this one this time. Let's see what happens. No, just missed it. Okay. What was the suggestion? Go to 0. Well, that's a good suggestion, but I'm not going to do it in a live show. I'll think about it and play around with it later on. But at the moment, I'm going this way. Page up. There, beautiful. 0 that. Still in metric. Page up. Another pass. Dusty on. It's doing well with the dust extraction. I'm very happy with it. Everything's good. Another pass. There we go. That's what you wanted to see. That's going pretty good with the resin, Wayne. Needs to come down just a little bit more. I've got a little bit of a hole there. That's okay. I'll come over here and do some reading. Scott, the bit is a 50mm wide cutter. It's the bit that was on the picture of the tile for the show. Gary Fraser, how are you? I was about to say the dust extraction seems to be working considerably well. All right, Scott. Bit of CA glue. I could do, yeah. I can turn the light on for you. There's another light there I've got on the machine. How's that? Any better? My pleasure, Scott. I should clean all of that up as it goes past it this time. It's beautiful. So people that were concerned last show that having the resin sitting on top of the surface of the timber was going to somehow stain it. It doesn't seem to have created any problems. It's cutting through beautifully. I think this is the last pass that I'll do on this side. It's just gone 12 o'clock. And I'll come out to the front here and chat to everyone about it. But how good is this? Oh, Nath, it'll only be on the CNC for half an hour aside, if that. This side's finished. As soon as it's finished this outside and does down the middle there, that side's finished on the CNC. So what have we been? Half an hour, 25 minutes? Cornelius, I did make comment when I posted for Facebook about this. And I have said to people that if they want to, they can do exactly the same with a sled, a router sled, with a couple of guides either side and traverse across with a router. There's a whole lot of other stuff that I've done that is woodworking. And yeah, that's exactly right, babe. It's just another tool. Russell, yes, what I'll be doing is I'll bring it back in here and I'll get the Rotex out. And I'll start it with 120 grit paper and I'll go through it like sorry, I was just listening to how it was going there. I'll go through it with all the way up to 5,000 possibly, or 4,000, and then it'll be really, really nice. It'll look just like it does at the moment. My pleasure, Scott. It is a nice tool to have. Yeah, it's just another tool in the workshop. I use it for creating my benches as well. It's very, very accurate. Doing down the center. I'm going to go over and have a look. Bit of a look. Now it's going to need one more pass. Maybe two. Hasn't finished up there. So when it comes back, I might look, what I'll do is I'm going to raise her up. Send her back down there. And you can see how it's going to look. It's going to be magic. Just moving the camera around. So it needs another pass or two here for the whole thing. Someone asked how thick it was. It's going to end up about 25 millimeters thick, 1 inch. But I'm very, very happy with it. Very happy. I'll open this up so it doesn't go anywhere. Come back over there. Turn the dusty off. And come back to this camera. All right. I'm tripping over my words. All right, let me have a quick look at this here and a quick drink. Now, the Patreon chat's going to be on after this. I'll probably run the machine another 1 or 2 passes just to finish it all off while we're doing the Patreon chat. If you want to join into that chat, it's a kind of very low key, bit of a social chinwag. You have to be a patron. There's links in the description box down below. There's also links for other things and affiliations and how you get my bench. If you want a Stanton bench, by all means, have a look down there. Patrons at a certain level, I'm going to read their names out for you. Johannes Mohr, John Parra, Vincent Ngian, Peter Woolworth, Brian Del Vecchio, Justin Bailey, Father Brett Guthrie, Mike Deam, Wayne Cargill, and John Lynch. Thank you very much to all of those people. And I'm going to have a quick read down the side here. Awesome project, Dave. Can't wait for the finish. Thanks for streaming this one. My pleasure. Tipo, just another advancement in woodworking, much the same as hand saw. Yes. Looking great. Thanks for the streaming. Another great CNC demo. Thanks, Dave. I'm so sorry that I didn't get a spire up on the screen for you guys to watch. That would have been terrific. Yes, Nathan, I know you're a new patron. That's fantastic. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. Be nice to each other. And I shall see you next week. Bye. Come on, do it. Do it. Goodbye.